I'm a dude, and I'm inviting you to join me on a podcast about brews.
Does that include stouts?
Yes, of course it includes stouts. Like I was saying, join us every Saturday on the journey into...
Wait a minute. Do you guys do anything about, like, IPAs?
Yes,
Stuff like that?
yes, we do IPAs.
Okay.
Yes. Anyway, join us on the Journey into Comics Network for Brews with Dudes.
Whoa, hey, have you guys do you care if I bring some Zima on?
Yes, I care if you bring Zima. Zima doesn't count. Zima's... Dr. Dongo. Anyway, join us every Saturday for a podcast that delves into the craft brew world.
The following is a Journey to Comics Network production.
Yes, it all started out as a mild curiosity in the junkyard. Now it's turned out to be quite a great spirit of adventure.
People assume that time is a strict progression of cause to effect, but actually, from a non-linear, non-subjective viewpoint, it's more like a big ball of wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
You're calling the butler. I'm very partial to tea muffins.
What's wrong with being childish? I like being childish.
Shut up. Everybody, just shut up.
Bananas are good.
That's the exciting thing. There's nobody in the universe doing what we're doing.
I'm Lords of Gallifrey, Daleks of Sara. I serve notice on you all.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of Gallifrey-dio, a Whovian podcast. I am Veronica. I am joined as well with my companions, Nate Phillips.
How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Excited to be doing this finally.
I know. It's been a long time coming. We've been talking about this for a while.
I feel like I had the concept for Gallifrey-dio in like February of this year.
I don't know. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while for sure.
We've been talking about this for a while. Also, our companion, Lauren, and our co-host of Foodies Watching Movies, our other podcast we share together. How you doing, Lauren?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm good. Are you excited to be talking about Doctor Who, finally?
Yes, finally.
I know. We always talk about it like here and there on Foodies, and we finally decided we needed just our own platform to talk about this because it's too important and too long-winded, right?
Yeah, it really is. There's too much going on in Doctor Who for it to ever be contained within another podcast.
Right, and it's ongoing, and hopefully will continue to go
forever.
So we are going to have plenty of content to talk about in the
There's
future.
actually too much content, however.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
sorry, I realized what I did, and I was like, oh.
Okay. Anyway, our other companion, Miss Sara Van Lanningham, is joining us.
Hi.
Hi. How's it going?
I'm here.
I know. I'm so
Talk
excited.
About Doctor Who. Yeah.
Sara is actually one of the reasons why I even watch Doctor Who. And I think we're going to talk about that all in this episode. We kind of just want to talk about Doctor Who, why we like it, what we like about it, and how we, like an introductory into how we all got into this show, because it's important to a lot of people.
Absolutely. This show started in 1963. Interesting to note, it debuted the day after the Kennedy assassination.
Yeah, you were talking about that earlier.
Which actually kind of hurt it a little bit, because people weren't tuning in to watch science fiction stuff. The president of North America and the United States of America had just been assassinated, so they had to actually replay the first episode.
Wasn't the very first episode of the reboot of Doctor Who, didn't that have a picture of Christopher Eccleston, like, at the Kennedy assassination? Like, wasn't he, like, in the crowd or something?
Oh, yeah,
as
that
the
was
doctor?
On the episode, the very first episode with the Autons and all of that, when the guy's searching out all of the instances of the Doctor out throughout history, whatever. But yeah, he's standing in the crowd.
That's
pretty sure.
Interesting Easter egg.
Yeah, that is an interesting Easter egg. Oh, what's that guy's name? Craig? It was the first season with Eccleston, right?
I don't know if his name was Craig, but he was just like
he was just a dude.
A dude, yeah, that Rose
found on the internet.
Yeah, and that's when Mickey turns into the plastic out in the car.
That's episode 1.
Yeah.
The episode is titled Rose.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I it's interesting because I feel like if
episode
we're going
1 of new season
of the new season, yeah,
we should say,
because it's An Unearthly Child would be the first Doctor Who episode.
Right, and a lot of people that don't watch I know a lot of people that don't watch Doctor Who, and we're always talking to them and trying to convert them and be like, you would love it, just get into it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people don't know that it's been going on. It's like it's the longest science fiction TV show running today. Like, it has a Guinness World Record, I learned that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been going since the 60s, on and off.
They found a really interesting way to captivate audiences by deciding that they could recast the Doctor by using storyline and saying that the Doctor can regenerate his body. Once a body has been damaged, he can just become someone else.
Right.
Well,
so I think someone needs to explain.
Which is always very emotional for Doctor Who fans whenever he regenerates into someone else, because we get attached to whoever's playing the Doctor, and then someone new comes along.
And isn't it usually around Christmas time?
Yeah.
Yeah,
usually.
In the modern era, it's
depressing.
In the modern era, it's been more Christmas time.
Yeah.
But in the old school days, they fired the gun whenever. You know, hope that dude's contract's over. Let's write him off. It's time. Someone new.
I feel like they do it now around Christmas time because they have more time to use it, like the Christmas special episode that's generally longer than most other episodes, so they want to use that opportunity to introduce a new Doctor and say goodbye to the current one.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And each episode's like, what, about 45 minutes?
Yeah, except for David Tennant, they gave him a whole like
two-part
special.
special. The Christmas special and the New Year's special.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they gave it to David Tennant.
God, of course they did.
David Tennant. I loved him.
That was the saddest one.
Yeah, we're definitely all over the map here, but
so we need to just talk about overall what Doctor Who is. Like, if you were to try to sell somebody on the show, how would you guys describe Doctor Who?
There's an alien. He's in a phone box. The phone box can travel through time and space.
It's a police box.
It's a police box.
Yeah.
It's a public call box. It's a phone box. The angels have the phone box. So he travels through.
They actually have the trademark for the blue police box. Doctor Who does, so that way they can do merchandising.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
But they went to court with the police there because they wanted to have it. But the patent office sided for Doctor Who. Anyway, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, anyways, the TARDIS, time and relative dimension in space, is stolen by the Doctor. He leaves his home planet Gallifrey and he starts going on adventures. He kind of gets hooked going to a planet called Earth, where he brings companions from Earth on adventures through time and space. And it's interesting because a lot of what draws people in is from the companion's perspective, because we can relate to the companion. We don't necessarily relate to the Doctor.
Good ones.
Oh man, and we'll get into that for sure. But with every Doctor, there have been new companions, new people he's bringing on adventures, new people that he's learning lessons for his own sake. Sometimes, the Doctor is having to learn that he's making mistakes too and how to fix those.
This was originally marketed to be a family show, like an educational family show. Mm-hmm. And it's evolved into horror and sci-fi and drama and comedy. I mean, this show really has everything.
Yeah, it's technically still a family show.
And it's still a family show.
Maybe over here it's a little scary for some kids. I don't know.
I think the theme music would be scary if you were a little kid.
Yeah, well, some of the villains, especially some of these later villains they've come up with, have been pretty intense.
The Weeping Angels were the scariest ones, I thought.
Those were the scariest to me, too.
Yeah.
We're going to have an episode dedicated just to villains and companions.
To the monsters.
And probably even individual monsters, because like the Daleks, you could spend a whole 3 episodes on the history of the Daleks and whatnot.
We have plans.
But it's interesting because, while there is a lot of cool time traveling things with the Doctor Who story, a lot of it gets based in the morals, the very strong moral compass of the Doctor, and he's tries to be non-violent in every situation, doesn't use a gun, has the sonic screwdriver, runs from most of his problems. So
he's been running for how many thousands of years?
Well, he's over 11 or 1,200 years old at this point.
We still don't know if he's a good man or not.
They're unsure.
We're unsure.
We're still very unsure.
Very unsure.
It's interesting because Veronica is actually, and Lauren both, you're not caught up on the 10th season. and you're a couple seasons behind, and we're working you through.
I just started the Peter Capaldi's first season.
Correct.
Well, no, I'm about halfway through it, right?
Yeah, you're
in the deep water now.
I'm in the deep water.
You're in the muck.
It was a rough couple of episodes. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was still entertaining, but every regeneration is hard.
Capaldi, though.
I do like Peter Capaldi a lot.
Doctor.
He was a punk rocker.
Yeah,
I can get on board with that. I'm already on board. It's just
it's the writing. No worries.
writing.
He was in A Punk Man with Craig
The
Ferguson.
writing for the 8th season definitely is not nearly as good as the 9th season.
The 9th season is spectacular.
I know.
I mean,
I will be planning on catching up on all of this Doctor Who so we can talk about it on this podcast. I just haven't had the time yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you've got a lot going on.
I think, though, we're going to have to story time this into how we got into Doctor Who. Because there's a lot of different ways, but I feel like, at least for us, we can either start with Lauren, because I don't know your journey into Doctor Who or how you found it.
Let's start with Lauren.
And then before we go, after Lauren, it has to be Sara, because you domino effect the other two. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever.
So we'll start with Lauren. How did you find Doctor Who?
I started watching it one night. I got home from work and I was browsing Netflix. I was living in my apartment in Griffith at the time, and I just saw it on there, and I was like, you know what? I've heard about this show. I was like, I'm really into science fiction, so I just started watching it. I started watching it with Christopher Eccleston, and then I got into David Tennant. And by the time I moved out of my apartment, I feel like David Tennant had just regenerated into Matt Smith.
Wow, timing.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't remember if I ever watched it on BBC America.
Like as it was airing?
Yeah. I can't remember if I did that. I want to say that I had to have at some point, just because there was no way that I would be able to keep up with everything that was going on unless I was watching it on BBC America as it was coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's how I got introduced to Doctor Who via Netflix. Nice. And yeah, I have Amazon Prime now, so I can watch all the episodes.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was. I think we have Amazon Prime. We just forget that we have Amazon Prime. By the way,
I don't know. I don't remember.
But another question I had for you, though, you've gotten into the new Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a time Netflix did have classic Who on there. Did you go back and watch any of the classics? Have you seen any of the classic Doctor Who?
I've seen bits and pieces of some of the episodes, but for the most part, no, I'm just strictly a new Who.
That's okay, because that gives us an opportunity to show you stuff in the old catalog that's
You're
fantastic.
Some assignments.
Man, there are so many great...
How many seasons are there before the...
36.
36?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's 26.
But those episodes are only total. 22 episodes or 22 minutes long each. They're not as long as the newer ones.
And they're it's different. It's different. It's more like
the clothes are fabulous.
See, I'm just struggling.
In space or
I'm just struggling enough with the way that the CGI was done in the first season of Doctor Who, the Christopher Eccleston season.
They did the best they could with their shitty effects budget.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But I liked it. It made it campy. It made it more fun to watch for me, because I like shitty B horror movies, It
was a bit of a grassroots effort on their part to resurrect that show because it was dying off.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
the movie in the 90s was really bad. If you've ever seen the movie.
Yeah, in 96, they came out with a standalone
There's a movie, The Master Turns to Liquid. We don't understand it.
Hold up. Let me drop a little bit of knowledge on you real quick here. Season 20.
The Master turns to liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't know how else to say it.
He just melts.
He just morphs. He's like a morphing liquid. You just
Okay, there's a bit of setup here. Let me help set this all up, because she
clearly
Lauren doesn't understand why there's even a movie. So there needs to be a little bit of a history lesson here. So there are 26 seasons of Doctor Who, classic Who, right? And then 10 seasons of New Who, meaning 36 total. The Eighth Doctor was only ever featured in a movie, okay, which was an American-produced movie after BBC had kind of said, we're done messing with Doctor Who, we don't have any ideas. Yeah. So, very Americanly done. However,
I think I remember reading about this, that there was a separate Doctor for a movie.
Yeah, so
like a separate actor who played him. Like he wasn't in the show ever, was he?
Well, but they've actually canonized Paul McGann, and we'll get to that too in a second. But with the Eighth Doctor, the thing that was interesting is they sparked it in this American idea. Its failure caused Russell T Davies to be like, I'm going to reach out to BBC and I can actually write good Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. And he pitched his first episode and they went, here's as much money as we can give you.
Take our money.
Let's go for it, and that's how New Who was created. So the Eighth Doctor, Paul McGann, technically was only ever in that movie, but when they went to do the 50th anniversary, we've never seen the Eighth Doctor regenerate to the Ninth. In the movie, you see Sylvester McCoy, Seventh Doctor, regenerate to Paul McGann. Mm-hmm. So we'd never seen Eccleston's regeneration or anything like that. But Eccleston didn't agree to do the 50th anniversary of Doctor Who, so they were like, well, how do we get around this? We'll introduce the concept of a war doctor who is not numbered. Yep. John Hurt, which was phenomenal. So then that gave them a reason to have Paul McGann come back, because then Paul McGann, is that the train of our existence?
Yeah, it's
amazing.
The call of our people.
So it's really loud in here. I didn't even notice. But so Paul McGann got to come back for the 50th anniversary. They did a Night of the Doctor, 10-minute short.
Who was the guy that said "Who knows" at the end of the 50th?
That's the Fourth Doctor, mm-hmm. and that was a classic Fourth Doctor line he used to do. Who knows?
Yeah. Mm.
And he is teasing that when the Doctor is done being the Doctor, he'll become the Curator, an older version of himself, which is in fact him. So that was like another version of the Doctor, essentially.
I remember when they introduced John Hurt as the Doctor, and at the end of the episode, they had introducing John Hurt as the Doctor.
The Doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it was very confusing, but having him show up, they needed to have Paul McGann regenerate, so they brought him on, did a 10-minute short that showed him, and the reason why he regenerated into the War Doctor was because he cast an evil spell to make him stronger and better in battle, so he could go into the Time War and defeat the Daleks, which essentially the War Doctor kind of does with the help of 10 and 11, but we can dedicate that. I love that you keep doing that.
Nobody ever beats the Daleks.
Wait.
Spoilers.
I love when David Tennant is talking about the Daleks, and he says I saw your ship flew into the jaws of the Nightmare Child. Mm-hmm. I saw all this shit happen, and I'm like, ugh, that sounds terrifying.
Yeah,
Doctor Who can be really dark.
Oh yeah.
It gets real.
Good stuff.
I just try to imagine what a Nightmare Child would look like, and someone flying into the jaws of it.
Mm-hmm. Ugh, yeah, horrifying.
Gigantic. Sarah, curious. Yeah. How did you find Doctor Who? I know this is regurgitated information. I know the answer, but our audience does not.
Correct. They do not. Well, I moved south of my hometown, far south, after college in 2006, and I got a job at GameStop, and the manager at the time, this woman was very into Doctor Who, and this was about
2006?
2006, yeah. She was telling me how good season 2 was. She was raving about it. She's like, oh my gosh.
David Tennant's season?
His first, yeah.
His first one.
His first season, talking about this new... And she's like, oh, you don't watch Doctor Who? You have to come over and watch it. This was not... It wasn't on BBC America yet. It wasn't on BBC America, actually, until Matt Smith.
Correct.
That was when BBC America picked it up. But she was raving about this show, so I went to her apartment one day, and she had bootleg...
What channel was it on originally?
It wasn't on any channel. We had to torrent things.
Oh.
We downloaded them all because we're nerds. So
actually,
we would torrent them back then.
I mean, it had to have aired in Britain originally, though.
Correct.
It would air in Britain, and then about 6 hours later or so.
Yeah, because it was 3 p.m. American time. It would air in Britain.
Yeah.
And then by 9 o'clock that night, Saturday, the torrent would be up from Mad Martha.
Yeah, that was her handle.
If you remember season 3 of Doctor Who, when Martha is the companion, he says, "Don't be mad, Martha." That's a jab at the torrent lady. That was like a little nod to the hat.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we know you helped get
It's,
Doctor Who out over in America. Like,
it's true.
Mad props. Because if it wasn't for her, the groundswell of support that Doctor Who got that caused BBC America to be like, we have to put this on our programming, wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, because, and I'll tell you why, the DVD sets were $80 to $90 a pop.
Holy
and
shit.
you couldn't watch them any other way. You either bought the DVDs or you downloaded it. That was it. So we had them downloaded, and she gave me burnt copies because season 2, by the time I had got to her place, David Tennant's first season had just finished. So she had 1 and 2 on this thing for me, and I brought it to my ex at the time, and I said, we have to watch this show. It's crazy. Like, it's so good. We just watched the first few episodes, and she sent me with this burnt copy, and I stayed up that entire night and watched both of those seasons, all of it. And I was just like...
Binged it.
like the first 2 seasons. Now, mind you, then I had to wait almost a year at this point to see season 3 with Martha Jones' season. And then I watched all of the rest of Doctor Who's in real time after that. So that's how I got into it. I've been watching it since then. And then I've watched all the classic Who back, especially when it was up on Netflix. It was like my winter. Every winter I would just cozy up and watch all of those old shows. They're very different, but it's funny to think about it as like the same creature, I guess, the same character that is like from the first. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like he's always been a grumpy old man, you know, it's just been different shells, and it's funny.
It's also interesting to go back and watch classic Who and catch a lot of references that the modern Who nodded hats to that you didn't catch. Mm-hmm. And then like vice versa, like when you would see like Matt Smith and he said, oh, you redecorated, I don't like it. And you're like, oh, second Doctor callback. Like, fuck yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, the Easter eggs are crazy.
It was all your fault that I got into Doctor Who. Much like your story, a little bit different. I started working at GameStop in 2007. And one of Liz's requirements when she hired me was, you must watch Doctor Who. If you don't, I'm firing you. And I know she obviously
That's an amazing job requirement.
She
we
was
had a good time.
A little bit serious too, you know.
She was more than a little bit.
So so in 2007, over Memorial Day weekend, she lent me season 1 and season 2 on DVD. The actual box sets at this point, because they had been out. She'd spent the money. She got
pre-ordered them from the UK.
Over that weekend, I binged the 2 seasons and was just, I mean, I remember watching in Eccleston's season especially, there's like 3 episodes in a row that just nail you. You get Father's Day, and you're like, oh, Father's Day kills you. You see Pete Tyler and this tragic story of Rose witnessing her dad die and all this crazy shit. Well, and then you get the empty child Doctor dances right after that, and it's like, though that 2-parter is so epic with everyone, that story.
I like that one.
So, really, Doctor Who hooked its claws in me really fast. It was interesting to see this guy who was gentle, soft-spoken, very intelligent, and non-violent get out of really crazy, sometimes violent situations, you know. And
with just a screwdriver.
And it doesn't even work on wood. It's so sad it doesn't do wood. But been a huge fan of Doctor Who, like Sarah said, watch every season as it airs and whatnot. And when I met you, I don't know actually how, you can probably better tell us your journey of that, but I just remember I was like, you have to watch Doctor Who with us. It is a requirement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had seen a couple of episodes of Doctor Who here and there throughout the years. My friend Jen really liked David Tennant a lot. So her Facebook was constantly flooded with David Tennant and Doctor Who stuff. So I saw a couple episodes with her. I saw a couple episodes with my ex-husband over the years, and I just never really had the time or the means to get into it until I met you guys, and you guys were all about it. So I'm like, all right, I'll give it a try. And then we binge watched a lot of it. You probably have a better idea of the time frame that we did that.
I believe in like 3 weeks we watched 7 seasons. Or 6.5 because we left the last season of Matt Smith. You weren't ready to finish it. It was like over Christmas,
wasn't it? It was like a winter time thing to do, and it was like one of the first shows that we binge watched together.
And it was awesome. And I just remember you would just be like, oh, this show is so good.
Oh, man, I got really into it hardcore at the beginning there. Like, the first couple of seasons of the new Who that we watched. Oh, man, I just had never seen TV like that before. It was really good.
You know what you still haven't seen either? I don't think we've gotten into Torchwood.
Oh, my God.
We didn't deviate. Have you seen Torchwood, Lauren?
Yes, I love Torchwood.
We didn't have her deviate.
That's Captain Jack's show,
usually
right?
you have to watch it after season 2.
Yeah, and we had this big
3.
plan. Remember,
Yeah.
Nate had made this big plan. We're going to watch Torchwood right before we watch this season, and then we never did.
That's how we usually
Miracle
get
Day was really good.
Miracle Day is amazing, but the
Children of Earth
was so hardcore.
Yeah,
terrible.
Too hardcore of a season. I feel like
we can't talk about it.
Yeah, we can't talk about.
I do want to watch it though. I love Captain Jack.
Torchwood is like adult Doctor Who.
I liked Miracle Day because it kind of brought Torchwood over to America.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I liked seeing that because they're so British.
And Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
Bill Pullman is an incredible character in the Miracle Day story.
Mekhi Phifer is in it too.
Also, Mekhi Phifer is stellar. I forgot he's in that.
I like him.
It was actually.
And then what's her name from 6 Feet Under? The redhead. She's in that season
she
too.
Is? I like her. She
Yeah.
played Claire.
Maybe we need to watch Torchwood before we go back and watch these new Doctor Who seasons.
I got
Instead
so
of catching up,
hyped
maybe we need to
when I heard that
watch
they were going to make a potentially new season of Torchwood, but then I heard that they're just going to do it over just like an audio series.
Yeah.
It's not going to actually be.
I heard that too.
Yeah, they do that from time to time.
Big Finish has been releasing Doctor Who audios since like the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, because there's been audio dramas, there's been like TV shows,
But
comics.
it's so crazy because a lot of the doctors have actually lent their voices to those audio dramas. So in some capacity, they are canon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like you just go into this like deep, dark, spinning spiral. I mean, Tom Baker did like over 20, I think, audio dramas. He's done a ton of them. So,
and there's been some other Doctor Who spin-off shows too, like the Sarah Jane Adventures.
K9.
Yeah, we've
K9.
watched that. It's adorable.
And there's a new one that came out
Class.
like in 2016 called Class, right?
Mhm.
I haven't seen that.
I haven't seen that
either.
I don't know about that actually.
I've seen 2 of the 3 seasons of Sarah Jane. We never saw the 3rd season.
No, we got
Well,
too
the
sad
actress who
'cause
played
she-
Sarah Jane,
you know,
she passed away, didn't
That was
she?
She passed
sad.
away. That's why
It was-
I didn't want to watch it. Yeah. No.
There's been so many good companions. I want to dedicate a whole episode of GallifRadio to just our favorite companions.
Yeah, great segue.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with this season? Do we want to try to kind of get into all the different plans we do have?
Okay, well, I definitely want to do that idea. I want to talk about all of our favorite villains, our least favorite episodes, our favorite episodes.
Of course, our favorite Doctor.
Of course, our favorite Doctor. Yeah, I mean,
That's
we're
going
gonna
to
have.
constantly evolve, I think, because it depends for me. Some days I am like, I could tell you really easy who my 2, like one classic, one modern, but other days that can totally change.
I'm 100% Matt Smith.
Are you?
Wow.
Yeah.
The romantic Doctor.
See,
I really liked Christopher Eccleston just because he was like the first foray into Doctor Who for me that I like got into, but I just loved David Tennant. For me, he'll always be Doctor Who.
interestingly enough, not from New Who, but Classic Who, John Pertwee. Man, talk about a guy who was in such a
Wasn't he the second Doctor?
Third.
Third.
And he was in
Was
such
he
a...
the one
love
with, he's
him.
the one with the scarf?
He's the one with the fluffy white hair and the velvet suit.
The cravat.
Like he's had a cravat.
Okay, who's
Yeah.
one that wore the scarf?
Tom Baker.
Tom
Tom
Baker
Baker.
had a scarf.
The 4th Doctor.
5th Doctor had the celery stalk.
Yeah.
6th Doctor had the Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat
with
jacket.
the question
Oh,
marks
yeah,
all
that
over it
one.
and stuff.
No.
right? Oh no, that was the next one.
That was Sylvester McCoy. Yeah.
That was the next one.
I was getting... Where were we at? I lost it.
Sorry, I was thinking about those outfits now.
They're ridiculous. They are ridiculous. Oh, John Pertwee. See, he was in such a box because his entire run of Doctor Who, the Doctor was on Earth pretty much throughout. He never left and went to other planets because the budget got crushed. So in order to keep the show going, they were like, well, we'll just create Unit. We'll have Unit become this big fixture. He'll be stuck on Earth solving Earth-based problems.
Well, yeah. And let me say that the segue to you getting to the 3rd Doctor was Sarah Jane Smith.
Oh,
because
very true.
The third Doctor. That's when the Doctor meets Sarah Jane Smith is on Earth. Like she's like his assistant or whatever. Becomes his assistant. He doesn't want her there. He thinks she's stupid. Like and just like wants her to like leave all the time. And she starts assisting the Brigadier too. That's when he's introduced. K9, like you said, he builds like the Doctor's just bored. Like the whole
what's
season.
her name? What's the lady's
funny.
name? The other companion. She was the companion before Sarah Jane.
Wasn't the Doctor's granddaughter one of his companions?
The first.
Yeah,
Susan?
the first one, Susan. Mm-hmm. I can't remember. I keep thinking of the girl that
On
was
Mike.
The 80s.
There you go.
I didn't want to be on.
You're okay. The girl from the 80s. Are you talking about Ace?
No, but I know she's the one with the bomber jacket. I remember her.
Yeah.
With the brown. She like had the aviator jacket or something that she wore all the time, kind of tomboy. I was thinking of the. I can't remember her name. It doesn't matter now. But I don't remember who was before Sarah Jane Smith.
I'm trying to look it up right now if you guys want to.
I didn't watch the second Doctor seasons. Weren't some of my favorite ones. I didn't watch a lot of those ones.
I haven't seen too many of the classic Doctor Who ones. I've mostly been trying to catch up on the newest ones. You know?
have to have a different kind of headspace going on for the old Doctor Who
I could totally appreciate that. It like when I have watched it like with you and it's just been on here and there or whatever, it kind of reminds me of like watching Monty Python in a way. Like I love watching British television, you know?
Yeah, anything, honestly, if you're going to watch Classic Who, I will say to start probably with the fourth Doctor seasons. Only because like the fourth Doctor is when Sarah Jane Smith is in full swing. That's like who he's with most of the time. A few other people here and there. But he just is so... Like, he just leaves her places all the time. He'll just be, like, traveling, and he'll just be like, oh, this is interesting, whoop, and he'll just go somewhere, and Sarah Jane's just like, uh-huh, and then she'll just be wandering around, and she'll almost die 7 times, and then they'll meet up, like, 25 minutes later at the end of the episode. Oh, you're not dead, great, let's go. Like, he just, no apologies, no nothing, and she's like, okay, fine, and that's, like, how they progress the whole time. It's super funny. Damn. Like, he's cold, though. Tom Baker's cold.
Joe Grant would have been
Joe, that's right.
And actually,
that's what was bugging.
Liz Shaw was the companion right before that for 1 season, and then it transitioned to Joe for 3 seasons, and then Sarah Jane, and then Sarah Jane was there for the carryover. Sarah Jane has actually been connected to more Doctors, I think, than any other companion.
Sarah Jane, has had the most.
Because 3, 4, 10, and 11. Because she had stories with both 10 and 11.
And did she have a story with Matt Smith?
Yeah, because it was on the Sarah Jane Adventures. It was the wedding of Sarah Jane Smith, or the wedding of the Doctor, I think. And it was Matt Smith cameoing in her show, Sarah Jane Adventures.
Oh, I did not know that.
It's really good.
Yeah, when did the episode happen where they brought everybody together?
That was Journey's End.
Okay.
Yeah, you're talking about like
that's
Jack and
Nikki, when they brought all
Rose,
the teams, they brought
Jackie,
the Sarah Jane people.
I remember. I loved that episode.
If you
wasn't that the one with Davros trying to like destroy the world?
Davros. Yeah. If you had seen all of that stuff, I had seen. You watch an old Doctor Who, was it the Evolution of the Daleks? That's when you first see Davros, and he looks just like that, like in the old ones, and like that whole when they
Genesis of the Daleks.
Genesis of the Daleks. That's what I said. But like when Sarah Jane and her, like when they like see each other the first time, that's like they had seen each other when the Daleks were created, you know, and like they brought back all of that stuff. That was a crazy. Like if you had seen all of that stuff, like Torchwood and Sarah Jane Adventures.
Wasn't Donna was a companion in that episode, wasn't she?
God, Donna Noble, what a
Donna.
Oh, I can't say she's my favorite companion yet, can I?
You can.
You can say it. We can just go ahead and say
she's
it.
my favorite.
She's probably my favorite too.
She just takes
her or the Pons. I really like the Pons.
I think the Pons had the weakest exit, though. That's
what
takes
I was
away
so
from
mad when that happened. We don't need to spoil it, but
no, we won't spoil it.
I was super mad when that happened. I wasn't expecting it. Nobody emotionally prepared me, and I mean you guys, so I got a little mad about that.
I didn't want to spoil, like, hey, this shitty thing's going to happen, because it was a kind of obnoxious watching it in real time. We waited and waited and waited.
Oh,
and
I would have been
like,
so mad if I waited in real time to see that.
Well, and you got to think, when that part of season 7 happened for Doctor Who, none of those episodes were like the very next week. Each episode was very much like the Fifth Doctor. It was a special. It was just here and there. They would release a certain episode, like at Easter or whatever. So that first part of season 7 was really broken up and kind of garbagely in that regard. Weird storylines. They had the one from the West with the cyborg dude.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
And the one with the dinosaur on the spaceship.
That was a weak episode.
That one was super weak, and that made me mad.
And then for them to get to the finale where they're going to get rid of the pawns, and it be such a drop off, really you kind of low blow the pawns there. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're trapped in the past because of the Weeping Angels, and I can't. Well,
are we going to count River Song as a companion?
You have to.
I mean, I think she just pretended to be a companion. That's my assessment of River Song.
She's his wife.
Right. But before he knew anything about her, she pretended to be she was just along for the ride. When they were off their timelines.
I gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Before the reveals and stuff. But, that's what I'm going to say. She's both, kind of, I guess. So maybe she's kind of one. But, so I'm thinking who...
I like Clara, too.
Ooh, Clara. I liked Bill, but you guys aren't at Bill yet, so...
My favorite is Rose. My favorite will always be Rose. She was my first foray into companions. And
there's just too many companions. There's so many more companions than there are doctors.
Well, let's go one level deeper then, because I want to know who wins for the companions. So Rory, Mickey,
who's the real MVPs?
What's Clara's?
Definitely Rory.
What's his name?
Oh, Danny Pink.
Danny Pinkman.
Just Pink.
Or just Pink. Yeah. We've got who's the Narwhal?
Narwhal.
Yeah, I never know his name.
The potato guy?
No, that's
Strax.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about Vastra and Jenny?
Vastra and Jenny.
Yeah. So
K9 is a sub.
Yeah. Let's just talk about the dudes. Let's talk about Rory and Mickey.
Mickey was kind of a pain in the booty. Yeah. I prefer Rory.
What about that companion?
He was the real MVP.
He did wait
a long time.
Thousands of years.
Yeah.
I mean...
he did. Yeah.
What about that companion that was in season 2 that Rose met? That
the eyeball guy.
Yeah,
when he opens his...
And he calls home into the past.
Meets him in the museum.
Oh.
And the doctor banishes him from the TARDIS because he's an idiot.
Leaves him in his house with his mom.
Wasn't he that guy that he called home?
Yes.
Yeah.
Left the message.
That was the episode Dalek. That's what it was. That you meet that guy.
Was it? I thought it was.
Collector guy in the museum.
Yeah. He meets him there, and then they bring him to that. They bring him to that
Platform 9.
The next
Platform
episode
9.
is that one. Yeah, where they bring him on the spaceship and he gets the surgery.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoilers.
It's okay. I'm just adjusting.
Nobody that's listening to this should
be surprised. Should be surprised.
There's going to be spoilers. It's just this.
That's the nature of the show. It'll be spoiler filled.
I mean, otherwise, what are we going to do? Just talk about the headlines, the episode titles,
right?
Well,
there are a lot of things that we are going to be talking about on the show coming up this season. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of different things that we want to do, and a lot of people who are interested in, coming here and talking with us, and people that have been interacting with us online and asking us questions on Facebook and on whatnot. And we're going to be launching a Twitter and Instagram and all that good stuff. So we're going to have lots of things to say.
I'm actually getting ready to pull up one of the questions that was asked to us. I'm on our Facebook right now.
Oh, okay. Go for it.
It's taking a minute. Oh, there we go. Okay, so we have... Charles Fiddler. Is there any possibility that the actors recreating the original TARDIS crew could refilm Marco Polo? That was one of the first Doctor's missing serials. I think it's actually the 4th serial of the first season. So it's one of the early ons that were lost. I know Mark Gatiss joked about it in the DVD extras. They're doing some Big Finish news stories, but I think a Marco Polo redo would be extremely well received.
That's what he said?
Yeah. I agree with that. I think it would be really well received. Adventures in Time and Space, I think, is kind of what he's referencing. They just did that movie with David Bradley he was playing the first Doctor, and they could definitely take that same cast and mimic old stories. I mean, there's no reason not. I'm guessing they probably still have the script, but
I don't know. I mean, I don't think they would have written over the scripts and stuff. I mean, but then again, if they had all of the old the scripts, I guess you could say, they would have probably made radio shows out of them. I mean, they would have made like what do you call it? Not a teleplay or whatever they, just
I know what you're talking
radio
about.
shows, like how they do the audio.
An audio
shows.
drama or something.
Yeah, like they would have read the scripts and like adapted it for radio for probably. I mean, I don't know.
I'd listen to that.
We also asked some people on our Facebook who their favorite companion was. We got some responses here. Keegan Dameron says Mickey. Angela, that makes sense. Pizza. Angela Zachariah says Donna.
Hey.
Donna. Yep.
Donna. I like Donna Noble for a lot of reasons, but she also bugged.
Yeah, but that's also part of why I liked her.
Yeah,
She bugged because she was supposed to bug. And she bugged you in the exact way her character bugged, and in the exact way that her character was depressed about the fact that she bugged so hard.
Yeah.
That's why I love her.
That's why you like her. It makes sense.
She was just like, oh, yeah, me. You know, like she's just that ultimate character.
Oh, me.
Just like, yeah, I hate myself. Okay, I'm annoying. Let's go out. You know, like, whatever.
Charles Fiddler says SJS forever. Sarah Jane Smith forever. So I like that we're getting some interaction on our Facebook page. You guys should definitely check that out. Just search Gallifrey-dio podcast on Facebook. I will say there are some things I do want to do throughout this season. There's a random button on the TARDIS Wikia, and I kind of want to just like press it and see what random page pops up and then read whatever random fact that is. And then I also want to introduce something. I thought about this while we were doing this. I want to do a classic cut. And I want to talk about an episode or something from the old school Doctor Who that I think new fans would definitely get down with, get into. Robots of Death definitely comes to mind.
Can we give people homework?
Yeah, fuck yeah, we can give them homework.
I mean, if we give people homework, we have to be able to tell them where to find it. You know, not everybody's going to be able to download or have DVDs of these episodes.
Well, most people are going to go to BritBox for Classic Who.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
And then,
wait, BritBox?
Yeah.
Ooh, BritBox. You don't know about BritBox.
$6. It has all the it's $6 a month. Has all the Classic Who on it. A lot of other classic BBC shows and stuff.
It's all British.
Does not have the new series of Who.
I just keep waiting for them to introduce a BBC America app that I can like get on my Roku or on my Fire Stick, because not only is this show should be on there, but they're coming out with a not to get off into another tangent, but they're coming out with a His Dark Materials TV show on BBC. On BBC, I'm not sure if it's going to be on BBC America or not. It was one of my favorite books growing up, and they're going to make that into a TV show on BBC, and I'm not sure if it's going to be on BBC America, so I'm not sure if it's going to be on Netflix or Amazon or what.
You're like, I need to see it.
Yes, it doesn't come out until like this time next year, though.
Oh, damn.
Other things.
Oh, there was one other thing
Sure,
that I was going to say. We're going to plan a trip down to the Doctor Who Museum in Indianapolis.
Oh, yeah.
And going to be posting some pretty interesting shit that they've got down there. I'm really excited because I haven't been able to go yet. You guys have already been, whatever. But
many years ago.
We're gonna, I guess it's changed.
It's got to be changed probably quite a bit.
Yeah, so we're gonna check that out in an upcoming episode. It's gonna be really fun. We'll maybe do like a live video or something.
I clicked the random button. Do you guys want to know what page came up?
Okay.
Yeah.
Partition sector. We're going to learn about the partition sector. The partition sector was a disputed area of human space. The planet Looking Glass was located on the trailing edge of it. Beyond the sector lay the territories of the Daleks, Cybermen, and Sontarans. However, by the 26th century, there had not been any contact with these species for a very long time, and the most recent hostile action had been between rival smuggling operations. So, the partition sector.
Oh, the Sontarans.
I love the Sontarans.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
I love Strax. I do.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, and you want to see something funny? Look up what the classic Sontarans look like in the old episodes. They literally look like potatoes.
Do it, boy!
They look horrible, like the old costumes from the old show. It's so funny.
We'll have to find a picture and put it on Facebook.
I love how Strax would constantly get all the Doctor's female companions. He would call them boys.
I know, calling Cloud all the time.
Yeah.
Come here, boy!
He's so insulting.
But he's just to the point.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
Yeah.
You guys had been talking about how your favorite villains are creature were the weeping angels because they're the scariest.
Yeah.
I don't think they're the scariest.
The silence is pretty.
The silence.
The silence was
silence is scary.
Ooh, yeah. I don't think they looked as scary, but
they were my favorite.
That creepy, like.
Yeah. I don't think they looked as scary to me. I think the concept of them was scarier.
Yeah,
the idea that you forget
silence.
about them immediately, and then you'd watch people what's that? The scene in the bathroom, like in that
when Clara drops the phone.
Yeah, and she's sees it in the corner, and then she just goes back to doing her thing. And, yeah, that whole thing.
They mind fucked poor Amy.
Oh
yeah,
man.
God, Amy was probably I feel the worst for her out of almost any character, just because of her whole story. Yeah. Amy's whole story. We're gonna have a whole episode just dedicated to the companions and their journeys and what they go through. But Amy definitely takes the cake, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to bring up with the silent.
All the companions have tragic endings.
Oh,
I mean, none of them really depart the show in a good way.
Yeah.
So
Except Martha Jones.
Martha Jones. She kind of.
She's just I'm done.
She was in Torchwood, wasn't she?
Yeah, she broke up with the Doctor and then joined Torchwood. Yeah. She's like, "Fuck you, Doc. I'm going on my own." Yeah. And then she went and hooked up with Mickey.
I didn't dislike Martha Jones. I didn't understand the overall a lot of people didn't like Martha
because
Jones.
It wasn't Rose. She was the first companion in the new series, and
10 years later, there's still people. I don't like Martha Jones. And I'm just
I thought a lot of.
You don't like her because she didn't like the Doctor.
She wasn't that bad.
She got a little butthurt.
I think whomever was going to be after Rose, everybody was going to hate because Rose had such a important storyline.
Yeah,
that. Rose was the audience's first foray into the world of Doctor Who because you were looking at it through that companion's eyes, through her lens. And when there was no more Rose on the show, it was
so
where the fuck is this going to go from here? Why is this woman on this show? I don't care about her. Who are you? You know? And then after that happened, I was like, okay, I can let it go. I can get over it because now there's Amy and Donna and...
It didn't help either that they made the Doctor kind of because he was so pissed off about the whole Rose thing.
Oh
and
yeah,
her.
He was definitely.
So he was mean to her. He was mean to Martha from the get go, and I feel like that bled through onto the fans. Mm-hmm. Because however the Doctor perceives his companions is usually, if you look in the commentary about the companions, pretty reflective of what people are going to think about that.
That's a good point.
That's. It's picked up upon subconsciously by the people watching the show. So.
I feel like he was kind of somewhat similar when it came to Clara, just because Clara came right after the Ponds, and he was very bitter after the Ponds.
Very
and
true.
She was so bubbly,
right?
Yeah,
and easy to be mean to because she was so nice.
She was also the impossible girl.
I love Clara's storyline.
Clara's story
her.
is brilliant because she is the Rose of the 11th Doctor because she scatters herself through time and space to save the
him.
Doctor.
Yeah.
The parallels are unmatched. I mean, we could go on.
It's like the bad wolf of the Matt Smith era.
So dead on. I was just thinking that too. Overall, though, we have one more person that said something. I just caught this comment. I wanted to make sure not to miss it here. We asked people to tell us their stories about how they found Doctor Who, and Andrew D. Gable said, heard Call of Cthulhu's GM talking about how awesome Talons of Wang Chai was, and tracked down a VHS copy of it, and the rest was history.
Nice.
So that's another classic Who that hooked somebody. Fourth Doctor story. Pretty excellent there. Do you guys have anything else? Any other Doctor Who stuff? You guys kind of...
Well, I'm looking forward to finishing what I've not finished yet. How many more seasons do I have to go?
Literally
8,
2.
Half of 8, all of 9, and all of 10.
So
2.5 seasons.
Yeah, 9 is really good.
Okay.
9 blows through fast because every episode's a power punch episode, and then
season 10, and there's a 2-parter in the middle, isn't there? There's after the flood, and then what's the second? I'll look it up. After the flood, and then another one. But yeah, 9 is really good, a lot better than 8. Even though 8 and 9 were both written by Stephen Moffat.
I love Stephen Moffat.
Yeah,
see,
I love Sherlock.
Oh
yeah, we could do a whole other podcast on Sherlock.
Gotta catch up.
But
yeah.
on Series 9, to get back to Series 9 of Doctor Who, there were several two-parters. This is when they finally started bringing them back a little bit more.
Well, this was the Magician's Apprentice.
And The Witch's Familiar.
Yeah.
That was a two-parter.
That was the beginning, wasn't it?
Under the Lake Before the Flood. That was the one you were talking about. And they did the Zygon Invasion and the Zygon Inversion. Heaven Sent, Hellbent, and then they had the Christmas special.
Zygons.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot they brought back the Zygons.
All about to be popping off.
Was Heaven Sent and Hellbent, was that the 9th season, or was it the 8th season?
9th. That was the finale of the 9th season. And then that Christmas special was the Husbands of River Song.
When was the Raven episode? Wasn't that at the end of the 9th season?
Face the Raven, yes. It was right before the finale.
Okay.
There was a 2-part finale. They did Face the Raven, and then Heaven Sent was part 1, Hellbent was part 2, and that was it.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, what are your guys' opinions on the upcoming season and the fact that the new Doctor cast is a woman?
Fucking excited.
Right?
I love Jodie Whittaker. I've
Me
loved
too.
her since, my first exposure to Jodie Whittaker is through Attack the Block, which is a phenomenal movie that you guys should watch.
Movie.
It's John Boyega from Star Wars is in it.
That was such a weird movie.
Yeah, it is weird, but it's really
Did
well
you see
done.
that, Lauren?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, Lauren would love that movie.
She's borrowing it. You have it, right?
Yeah, I still haven't gotten around to watching
Yeah,
it
so
yet.
she's going to watch it at some
You
point.
gotta watch that this
You'll
weekend.
love it.
It's
Yeah,
really
you'll
good.
You'll really vibe on it.
Or at least before Doctor Who starts, you should watch it because it has her in it.
Jodie Whittaker really stepped up her game, in my opinion. You can't watch it. I'm so sorry. Broadchurch.
Broadchurch was fucking phenomenal.
It was unbelievable.
Incredible. And
I mean,
I was told I'm not allowed to watch it.
You have to emotionally turn off and almost laugh at how depressing it is. That's how the point I got to. It was like
it's a very
every episode
slow burn.
Oh
yeah,
my God,
but you just can't think it could possibly get any worse. And then the next episode happens, you go, "Oh my God, that is just like an emotional pit." I can't believe this.
And
But you
it's
just
so
have to
it's so silent for a lot of it.
Oh,
Like there's
man.
not a lot of talk, not a lot of dialogue. It's a dialogue heavy show, but at the same time it isn't. Like there's lots of silence.
And it's a lot of the music setting the tone for everything that's going on. Like really getting.
Was David Tennant like a villain in this show?
No, he's a detective and he's
Oh.
gritty and
He's
like
the lead detective.
And he uses his real Scottish accent.
Yeah,
in it.
he's Scottish, super Scottish. Yeah,
And Jodie
Super gritty.
Whittaker plays the mother of the kid, I do believe, right?
Yeah, she's got a heartbreaking.
I don't ever
terrible
want to see
role.
this fucking show. I don't know what it's about, but based on what you're
though,
saying
the
and the fact
writing
that you
is
told me not to see it,
unreal.
no, I don't want to
It's-
watch it.
It's really good though.
I mean, it was
is.
good enough that they brought David Tennant to America, paired him with the lady that played Skylar in Breaking Bad, and had them do the same fucking show, but in America, also called
We
Broadchurch.
didn't watch it.
Oh, really?
Like, literally, the script was identical, and everybody was pissed because they didn't really change anything.
Yeah, what was the
And
point
it was
of
like,
making
why
it?
not
They just wanted an American version.
Yeah, and they should have
Yeah.
just brought over the already created version and just had
I
it.
replaced
Just
it with
aired it.
Yeah, exactly.
Skylar.
Yeah, God, she's the worst. But that's a whole other podcast.
Yeah, we're off
So
topic.
everybody's pleased with the new casting of the Doctor.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. I really do.
I don't have.
I'm
a
looking
problem
forward
with
to it.
The only thing I don't know about is just I like the Doctor's somewhat romantic interactions with his companions, and I don't know how they're going to do that with a female Doctor.
Well, there's going to be multiple companions, right?
Correct.
That's what everybody won't admit about Doctor Who is that they are attracted to that romantic thing,
Yeah.
and that's
They
why
want there to be a romance.
But that's why
the
the
whole
writers
point
avoid
of it. I was gonna say, like, they set the precedent with Rose, you know,
Yeah.
which was fine. They've gone like up and down, you know, like these hills of romantic, not romantic. You know, the Doctor's going through all of this turmoil. There has to be some amount of romance there because that's human nature. You have to have that to have like a whole picture if it's going to like translate to human beings and be meaningful.
Right.
But that's why they have Peter Capaldi to begin with. That's why they've started to shut that down. They've started to steer away from it because I'm not your boyfriend, Clara. You know, like, I mean, he says it. Like, he kind of goes into it. So by doing that, it just sets up for this whole gender bending sort of thing that they have going, which they've always played around with. You know,
Right.
this whole weird thing. You got Who did you mention? Madame Vastra, her like lizard person relationship, lesbian thing going on with, I forget her name.
Jenny,
mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, they had that kind of thing. So it's like people accept that sort of stuff, but they're like, not my doctor. Don't do that. And it's just because people get that romantic thing. And it's like, well, now you're going to have to use your brain to watch Doctor Who. It's going to be a totally different viewing experience because the people that at least are not attracted to women, I guess, are not going to have that, romantic thing. But I think they're gonna missy it a little bit.
Well,
I think they're gonna give her a little bit of sass, and
I think this is an opportunity for them to play outside the box. There are 3 or 4 companions that are going to be in this season. It's like the Doctor and 3 or 4 other people, at least 2 different dudes, and there's a lady, or maybe there are 2 ladies or something. I can't really quite remember, or maybe the 2 ladies and I don't. But
how are these people all going to fit inside the TARDIS? And I know the TARDIS. I know it's bigger. It's bigger on the inside, but it still just seems like a lot of people.
You are worried that it could be very busy in that space with a lot of people down by the control console and lots of like weird stories to I don't know, Chris Chibnall, to get back to it. Here's how much I trust this new season. You guys talk about how great Torchwood is, how, oh man, that's a show to watch. It was written by the guy who's writing this season of Doctor Who, Chris Chibnall. Like, he is the showrunner now, so it's going to be fantastic writing that's over the top, and I'm really looking forward to what it comes.
Have to be.
Yeah, and I think look, Jodie Whittaker, the cast, the Chris Chibnall, the writing, the fact that they're gonna break boundaries and try new things and go new places the Doctor's never gone, really is exciting to me. Like, it brings a lot of possibilities. How cool would it be if River Song gets brought back and sees the Doctor as a woman?
I love River Song.
She's there's
so great.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that can come from this season. So it would just, when are we getting this season is the ultimate question. When will it drop on us?
The ultimate question is, if River Song regenerated into a man, who would it be? Who would it be?
River Song only has a limited number of regenerations, right?
Who?
Like, she
River.
Yeah, I would assume she probably only has 6. Because she's only half Time Lord.
Well, she got some of it back, though.
She gave some of it away.
To
save the Doctor, didn't she?
Yeah, but not all of it, right?
No, but she had already used 2 in her child.
Well, either way, she's got at least 1. So if she were to regenerate as a man, I wonder who she would be.
Benedict
I don't have
Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch. Hello, I'm here to assist you.
I just love Alex Kingston. She's amazing.
Yeah, I don't want her to regenerate into a man. I was just wondering,
Is she going to be back for the Jodie Whittaker season?
Who knows? Who knows? See what I did there?
Yeah.
I actually don't know, because even John Barrowman is like, I want to come back to Doctor Who and do something with Jodie Whittaker. Like, duh. So there's a lot of doors that could be open. And Chris Chibnall worked with a lot of the people like John Barrowman on Torchwood and old school Doctor Who.
I love Eve Miles, too.
Yes.
Yeah, I like her. Her Welsh. She's so very Welsh.
Gwendolyn Cooper.
Gwendolyn Cooper, yeah. I feel like we just decided tonight we're watching Torchwood.
You just thought about Gwen, didn't you?
I did too, man.
And Gwen. You thought about the whole thing.
I don't know, though. The first 2 seasons of Torchwood are also, in a word, fucking tragic.
Yeah, they're dark.
They're terrible, I mean, but they're great.
But they're brilliant.
Yeah, they're great. Brilliant.
Miracle Day is
fairies.
really, really good.
Yeah.
I'm down. I mean, we can catch up. I can catch up on Torchwood.
Torchwood is nice because it's a little less science fiction, even though it's got like stuff like that in it, but like it's more like earthy because there's no Doctor with the TARDIS and the time thing. Like, I mean, it's all.
I just remember the first episode
on
with
Earth.
the glove.
Yeah.
Don't say anything.
The glove of, what was it called? The glove.
The glove of don't say anything.
I was gonna say, I was gonna say the glove of Minnigan, but I was like, no, that's from Buffy.
I don't remember.
You're getting your fandoms confused.
The glove of spoilers.
Yeah. Well, I think this has been an excellent inaugural episode of
the pilot
episode of Gallifrey-dio. Thanks for deciding to do this podcast with us, you guys.
Yeah, of course.
It was really fun.
I love Doctor Who.
I'm looking forward to the next one.
Absolutely.
And we're going to be airing episodes every other Friday?
Correct. Only on the Journey into Comics network at journeyintocomics.com, or you can go onto all the different podcasting platforms, whether it's iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher Radio, Google Play Music, or Spotify. Just search Journey into Comics Network. You get all 10 shows. We now have 10 shows again on the network. I'm so excited. With Gallifrey-dio, like I said, every other Friday. And go on to facebook.com/Gallifrey-dio podcast, I think, or just search Gallifrey-dio. I'm uncertain of what the actual URL is right now. You'll also be able to find that in the description of this first episode. In the description below, you'll have some links. You can go there. Also go to patreon.com/Journey into Comics. Give $1, get early access. Give $3, get early access and exclusive content like Brews with Babes. Coming soon.
We need to figure out when we're going to do that next.
It is Gallifrey-dio podcast. Absolutely, and we have some ideas when we want to do it.
I asked Mary if she would do it, and she said that she would do it.
Set it up as soon as
I really want to do the next episode at Beer Geeks.
If you want, we can do it there too. I'm into it. Just let me know. We'll be there. We'll make it happen.
I should have asked Jason last time I was there because I went there this past Wednesday night to celebrate to mourn the death of my cat.
R.I.P. Yeah, that was International Cat Day. I remember.
Why did we have to put him down on International Cat Day? I don't understand.
Did you pour one out for him, though?
Did I what?
Did you pour one out for your homie?
Did I pour one out?
You were out Beer Geeks.
Yeah.
You didn't pour a beer on the floor for your cat?
No.
I would have. At least a swig.
Nate's all about the drama.
I just want to,
I had 2 stouts and a shot of tequila.
I love stouts.
We'll say the shot of tequila was for the kitty.
There you go.
Yeah, that was for Jack.
Heck yeah.
Shot for
all
the
right.
homeboy.
Well, V, you want to take us on home? Get out of here? Shut the TARDIS doors and call it a night?
Okay, this has been episode 1 of Gallifrey-dio. I'm Veronica with my companions.
Nate.
Lauren.
And Sarah.
All right.
We'll see you guys later.